You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's WWE NXT After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE NXT After Show.
Now that's a sultry tune to start the show off with. That's right. Beautiful, beautiful. I, of course, am the Hobo, and this is the NXT AfterBuzz. Unfortunately, there is no Kathakilla this week. But to my right, we have Mr. Mark Donica.
I'm feeling the sexy quotient this week.
Oh, yes, you are. I see that. Whoa! Easy with the buttons there.
I'm sorry, I
kiddo.
forgot family show.
I mean, despite not having Kathy Kelly, I still think this is going to be a pretty darn good show because you and I have been practicing this role for about 12 years.
Yeah, that's about right.
About 12 years.
Yeah.
So I think we're pretty well equipped to handle all the bumps and bruises that come with hosting a wrestling after show.
And we have a great show to talk about.
Well, you really think so?
At least a good one. At least a good one.
Point of contention. I don't know. I just don't know. It didn't sell me this week as much as last week. I don't know why. Some people online were saying that. Wow.
How do you quote that? You put that in quotes, and people all over the internet were saying that.
It was,
it's like a voice to tweet sort of thing.
They were saying that last week wasn't a phenomenal show, but I disagreed. I liked it quite a bit, and
here we are again.
Here we are again. You like the show. I'm not as sold. I just don't know why.
There was a lot. Like it was packed, and they had to get a lot done, and they still have to get a lot done to make it to that live show.
I mean, that was last week. You had the LaForte segments, and then other segments, and then the matches in between.
The LaForte segments were great because it kept the show rolling. This was kind of like match stop. Okay, here's a backstage
right,
thing.
we kind of kept like reworking.
You could have shot these matches in any order, and just in post put them together as they put them. Like
it was except for the main event.
Except for the main event, I agree with that. But it was the cold open with Sin Cara and Rusev where it was just intro. All right, show starts. There wasn't an in-ring segment to kind of like here we go. It was literally just all right, fighting. Let's just fight.
And then they sort of did. They caught us up on what happened last week, or was that last week or the week before when Sin Cara came in for the save on Woods with Rusev. So yeah, I mean. I think you and I have a normal sort of style, as in wrestling, where I am the color guy, obviously, and you were the play-by-play man. So give us the play-by-play on Sin Cara versus Rusev here.
Sin Cara could not get himself started in this match. He tried as much as he could. He went for grapples. He went for strikes. Rusev.
Do not grapple against Rusev.
No.
Are you silly?
This Bulgarian brute.
Brute.
You should use that actually.
Yes.
It's a great thing. And you could sense that he wasn't all there, that Hunakara wasn't entirely there. We got a couple of, like, true to Sin Cara, some shoddy moves. Like, Rusev kept throwing him off, and Sin Cara went into the corner, went for a moonsault, and hit super short.
I don't know what happened with that moonsault. I really don't. I just keep belching. God help me.
You gotta stay off of the XXX whiskey before you come in.
That is.
Yeah.
It just gets you the bubble guts going.
Exactly.
Oh, boy. Anyway, so he goes to that moonsault. Now it's impossible to tell because, of course, they chose the best possible camera angle, but it does look like he didn't touch him, like, barely at all.
NXT, developmental program for not just the wrestlers, but for actual camera people and people working the board.
Editing.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. It looked like the move itself was pretty and clean. Rusev might not have hit the spot in enough time, which might have been the case because the next spot was Sin Cara went up for his like a jumping forearm.
Right. And he hit that springboard off the middle of the second.
And
then
Rusev was all the way on the other side of the ring. And looked like, oh crap, and then jumped up and hit a huge, heavy drop kick, which I would have loved to be in that arena and just hear the ground just shake, just like,
the thud of humanity.
He's like 300 plus pounds, and that dude got
quite big.
vertical.
It was speed momentum. I think he busted his ass getting over there, and his feet just left the ground, and he just kept moving. Now, I do think Rusev may have missed that or miscalculated the amount of time, because there's certainly nothing Sin Cara would have hit basically on Rusev on the ropes and hitting off the other. It just wouldn't have worked. So maybe the timing was off in the earlier spot. Or could it be that this damned Sin Cara mask is just prone to being hindering spatial awareness?
Possibly, but I mean, as of late, Hunico has been dynamite with it. He's been more clean,
absolutely,
than Mystico has, and I'm sad that they can't utilize Sin Cara more because of all of the legal stuff.
Right.
Because I think that Hunico as a performer deserves the push and the placement that Sin Cara is at.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a little unfortunate, but this match was more about sort of like the final linchpin to show how dominant Rusev could be. Just keeps hitting him with a lot of kicks.
A lot of strikes.
Yeah.
A lot of strikes overall.
Yeah, which is at least over the past couple of weeks, not what we've seen a lot from him, though it's just been more real heavy grappling, and it was good to see him well-rounded. Got a lot of big ground headbutts in, and another spot that I just don't know where they were was Sin Cara reverses and goes for a big corner DDT and rolls it, makes it pretty, and it didn't like have the impact that I think it should have, like to really signify, okay,
you're right.
Here he comes.
That was in Sin Cara's comeback. He
Yes,
was trying to
part of the
he was
comeback.
getting the ball rolling, hitting a few things, and that was one of the things he hit.
That was the
he didn't
start
go
of
for
it.
a pin after that, did he?
No, he went.
And I think he should have. I think that might
He
have
went
been.
for the jumping crossbody, and then he
Right.
went for the jumping head scissors, and after that he jumped on him again, ended up in the electric chair
Right.
position, which led to the face buster, which was the perfect setup for the accolade.
And that was pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
I think in order to look more dominant, I think Sin Cara should have at least hit a couple of pins in there with some of the bigger moves, being the false finishes. Yeah, and they were trading strikes a lot in this match. Sin Cara hitting a lot of leg strikes, and then Rusev with strikes overall. If I were in charge of this, I would not have Rusev do any strikes at all. I would have him do slams, strongholds, and just grappling. I would not have him do strikes.
I think if you're going to give him a type of strike, like the dropkick out of nowhere, did not expect that, and that was great. And you save it for that kind of a thing where he's comfortable and more dominant doing all of the grapples and all of the holds, but if he feels like he's in a pinch, he'll start. That's when he starts striking you, and that's the kind of the secret weapon sort of thing.
And I think that's a bigger sell. You don't. I think throwing strikes from Rusev is a wasted effort. It just makes him look like he either throws a weak punch or something. Like if you just give him one punch where it levels the guy, I think it makes his striking look really strong.
He's not quite tall enough to do like a big boot, so if you stick with that drop kick, I think if you make that drop kick his big strike, that will be the one that kind of makes everybody sit back and go, whoa, this guy, I did not expect that from this guy, and it's also still sheer power and agility, which you can still get from him.
And a lot of people are equating him to, at least in look and appearance, to Taz. Like a bigger Taz. And which I think would work if they started to just have him do slams and suplexes. I think it would differentiate him enough from other people who have his similar look.
Yeah.
But I think it would separate him and have him be able to get over on the big guys.
At the same time, though, I think if they stuck with going along with his ring attire. Like he was in the
this week he was in the black again, damn it.
Which is inconsistent from what he was at the Royal Rumble, which is presumably what he's going to be on the main roster.
Right, and I had heard in Toledo he was in his old garb.
Yeah, he was in his brown.
Yeah.
If he sticks to that old world type of thing, and Lana's there to be kind of like the bridge from the old world to the new world and handle all of his bookings and all that stuff, and does all of the really old school big grapples and things like that, that can really sort of cement his type of character. But I think it was a strong enough showing from Rusev, and the couple of inconsistent spots made it
right
in a meh of a match. But
right. And to finish it up, Lana ends up giving the command for him to lock in the accolade once again. And nobody's saving Sin Cara this time. No Xavier Woods. No nobody. Sin
Nobody
Cara's
wants
just
to.
out there. I was sort of expecting him to be demasked sort of at some point during this thing, just to kill off Sin Cara completely.
And that would put more eyes on NXT.
It's very true. But let's move on to the next match.
Mm-hmm.
We got a fairly nice women's match. I was kind of surprised by this, between Alicia Fox and Emma.
I've always been a fan of Alicia Fox.
Have you really now?
Okay, maybe not always, but
okay.
Like within like the way that the Divas division has been evolving over these like past couple of months, she's maintained one of the better sort of rapports in terms of her in-ring ability and what she does.
She's definitely evolved from the last singles match I've seen her in, which I can't even remember the last time I saw her in a singles match. And she surprised me, to say the least. I thought, well, going into this, Emma's going to be pretty good because Emma is good, and Alicia Fox, so Emma will sort of carry Alicia Fox, and that was not the case.
No.
These two carried each other. It was a good match.
It was really good. Alicia playing the heel. She's kind of been sort of swimming in between. She's kind of been, and to have her just outright reject the dance that won a wonderful dance competition on Raw, immediately put her at odds. A lot of arm locks, a lot of hair pulling.
Aggressive, very aggressive by Alicia Fox from the get-go. Alicia's almost insulted that Emma keeps dancing instead of, is ready for combat.
And
get your head in the game, damn it.
Probably stealing all of her time from all of the Evolution signs, and all of the attention is on Emma right now, and Alicia Fox has been an established diva, so there's probably a little bit of resentment there.
A little bit, yeah, that's a good point. All right.
I'm down with it.
Yeah, you get it.
The very, I would say almost awkward, but Alicia Fox just fighting the whole time when Emma went for the dilemma, the tarantula, just pure aggression. Just I can't.
Did not give it to her.
I'm not gonna succumb to this little NXT brat.
It almost looked. I mean, it looked like she didn't want her to lock it in at all. Like she was not. No, I'm not letting you do this.
Just no selling.
It ended up working out a lot. She flips Emma back up, grabs a hair, snaps her head on the rope. Ooh, that's brutal.
Yeah, that was brutal, and pulls her into a beautiful Northern Lights suplex.
I honestly didn't see that coming. I'm like,
nope. Where
the hell is she going? What is she gonna? Northern Lights! Oh my!
Didn't expect that out of her, but it was real pretty. Emma goes for a roll up, but gives a drop toe hold, which puts Fox up on the bottom turnbuckle.
The roll up was a little bumpy.
It was. It was a little rough.
I've done that before, and she just wasn't tight enough with her. She ended up getting loose and just sort of didn't quite work. But then you're right, dropped hold into the corner.
Immediate fix, got the attention right off of that, and gives her the Emma sandwich, which is I don't think I've ever seen that. Like
just a really low crossbody to the corner. Boom.
And that seems hard because you got the rope right there. There's not a lot of clearance.
The way she does it, she sort of slides in and gets her legs under the bottom rope so that she doesn't really catch, and it ends up being a lot of snap impact.
Yeah.
It worked out pretty well.
It looks real pretty. Really quick, I just want to say that this is one of my favorite matches for the commentary because Tensai would not shut up about how much Bubbles! He was shouting, "I love Bubbles!" It was so good. I love getting up to dance at the end, like a couple of weeks ago when I was talking about how much I love Tensai on commentary. This is why, because he's such a weird dude, but he's so just pure into it. But Emma gets the Emma lock in, and one of the coolest things is as she was curling back, she gave a couple of these and then locked it in. I was like, that's
multiple times during this match she was able to work in the dance moves. And I know a lot of people aren't fans of her, don't understand what her character is, but the fact that she's able to work the dance moves into the match sells it for me. Because it's not like a stop and go, like she dances at the beginning, she dances at the end. No, she carries it through. She makes it work all the way around.
Fully embodies the character that she's portraying.
Whatever the hell the character is.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
But while Alicia Fox is recovering, Emma pulls up a microphone and wishes Paige a speedy recovery so that they can finally have their match for the NXT Divas title. As this happens, Sasha Banks flies through. Emma seems to just dodge, and Sasha just right through
I was
the
like,
ropes.
was that Sasha Banks? Was that Blur Sasha Banks?
And then they show her on the ground. It's like, yeah, it is. Anybody else coming? And we got the rest of the BFFs come in, and then Alicia Fox. All four of them start beating down on Emma when we hear that wonderful Heart Foundation guitar twill.
Yep.
And out comes Bailey and Natty to help make the save. And it would have been nice if, she's hurt, but if Paige was there to make that 4-on-4 sort of atmosphere, but it makes those three faces look even more strong because 3 fought off 4.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
they managed to corner Summer in the process of their save. Summer's just beating on her and looks around like, oh, hi, guys. Hi.
Like she didn't see them going just through.
Did you not notice the commotion around you?
She's like Abyss. She has that tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision.
Probably the weirdest reference I could have made on an NXT show.
Abyss, really?
Abyss and Summer Rae.
Joseph Park would have been a little weirder.
That's fair. Like when he gets all, we're not going to talk about.
No, we're not
going to talk
there.
about them.
That's
but then
not
all of the faces happy ending. Everybody dances and celebrates.
Everybody dance.
And then a wonderful. The next match was Sylvester LaFour and Welsh Batista. I'm sorry, Mason Ryan. But to be fair, he looks better than Batista does now.
Yeah,
and
congratulations, Mr. Ryan.
And
you have surpassed your founder, or whatever you want to call him. Look-alike, sort of.
Original, because he's a clone.
Sort of.
But and he's showing more personality in NXT than he has as a member of the Nexus, which is really nice. But Sylvester LaFour looking awesome.
He's always looked like that. He looks fantastic.
This wasn't necessarily like a comedy match or a throwaway match because he got in a.
In my opinion, this was 100% a throwaway. But LaFour looked great. I don't know.
But that's the thing. If it was like when they get Josh Matthews in there, even though he has some in-ring experience, like when they get like an announcer in there and they're wearing like jogging shorts and it's like, oh no, and that's like pure squash. Whereas opposed, he comes out, he's got wrestling gear, he looks good, he looks like he can stand in there.
And he should be able to. I don't know why they don't use LaFour more. He looks fantastic, despite being probably a little older. But he looks great, and he looks the part. He looks like a greasy Frenchman. Mm-hmm. He really does.
And this storyline with Mason Ryan. Well, in terms of the match, it was really quick. There's a tie-ups. There's a lot of dirty stuff that I call him Sly in my notes. Just Sly.
That works. I like that.
Yeah, just a lot of keeping Mason Ryan at bay, but there was that big hang up on the ropes that led to the big boot, and then they gave him the Ted DiBiase's like $1 Million Dream Slam.
Oh yeah,
like Cobra Clutch, slam, and that was the match. Three big moves, but LaFour looked good doing it, and I think if they move with, we see later LaFour Swears Revenge doesn't want anything to do with Mason Ryan as a client, but if we get into the thing where LaFour starts fighting to get his clients to prove that if I can do this, I can make you do this, sort of a thing.
But that would be the face way of looking at it.
Yeah, that would be the face way.
LaFour is 100% a heel.
Yeah.
Nobody expects him to be a good guy, and for that reason, I found this match to be a complete waste of my time. I was watching it and had to stop it after the finish and go, what was the point of that?
Yeah.
What? Why? You could have put Mason Ryan in there with any other talent from the back who's not featured on television, or made this whole big thing a swerve where LaForte ends up winning somehow anyway.
That's what I was expecting.
Right. And I thought to myself, how could LaForte win this match? And apparently, the universe answered, he can't. He cannot win this match.
Unless is there bigger talent down in Florida that hasn't premiered in television that LaForte can use against Mason Ryan, like as their debut?
Yeah,
Like,
but I think this would have been the opportunity. Yeah. There's a mess of talent down there. So. There's a bunch of people down there. They could have used this for the debut.
Yeah.
And even if Ryan would have won the match, have the new guy come down and debut with the LaForte and beat Mason Ryan down in the middle of the ring in front of everybody, so you don't have to do the cutback segment after the commercial of LaForte going, I'm going to get my revenge.
I got it for you.
Yeah.
Here's the shoulda. Guy comes down, hits LaForte. LaForte wins, so Mason Ryan becomes his thing, and then he starts beating up. Then he does like the turn where he's like gonna hit him with a chair or whatever. Hits Mason Ryan, starts beating down on Mason Ryan. Now LaForte has two people, a tag team.
You could have had an instant tag team if you just did a little swerve and a dance But no, I don't know why it seemed to lack creativity.
It was a very weird choice.
Just weird, man.
It was shorter than the sing-off that we had a couple months ago.
It really was.
Yeah.
Although the sing-off went over way better.
Yeah, well, no, it was more entertaining.
Yeah, but in spades. It's just unfortunate. This could have gone so much better. I feel it was a waste of time.
Really it didn't even show off Mason Ryan that much because it was...
What's there to show off?
Yeah.
He's huge. He does moves. Everybody knows it. Mm-hmm. Why not give somebody else a chance? It's not about Mason Ryan. Not anymore, because Mason Ryan's been in WWE a long time. This has got to be about somebody else getting their first shot in. I mean, even last week you had somebody debut against Adrian Neville. Not so much for Adrian Neville as for the other guy, although I don't know how anybody could show off against Adrian Neville. That's a neat trick.
Very much so, but it's a platform. Anytime there's been like a first person's appearance on TV these past couple of weeks, it's been a good match.
True. And we could have had that situation and it seems completely wasted.
Yes. What isn't wasted? What never wastes our time? The artiste, Aiden English.
No, never.
Never
a waste of time.
Wonderful. Spotlight, please. No, we can't do that? Okay.
No spotlight here.
No spotlight here.
No.
But we get a short promo from Aiden English, but he went a weird way with it. He said that the curtain has fallen on... Well, he talked about threatening Enzo, and Enzo... The threatening Enzo was a response to getting his foot run over by the wheelchair, and that made sense, and the curtain has fallen on the whole Enzo and Big Cass thing, and now he's looking forward to his next thing, which I found was a very weird thing to say, because...
It's sort of ominous in a way. Like I was hoping the curtain will fall, not has fallen.
I thought he said has fallen.
Yeah, you might be right.
Maybe poor choice of words. Either way.
Past tense.
Yeah.
Although we didn't see...
Maybe on the first act.
Maybe.
Either way.
But I like this promo from English. It's the first time that he's actually done like a heel promo. Like he was just sitting there, straight darkness, but the light on him, just talking real calm. And I don't know why, but to me that says bad guy.
Oh, definitely.
Anybody who's calm about beating somebody up is a scary individual.
You got the shadow over your brow. It makes you look more imposing.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Should try that.
Make you... Oh, no, please never.
Need a flashlight. Just right here.
As long as you do that face while you're making your heel promos.
Just like this.
An angry unicorn.
I'm a bad guy now.
The angry hobo unicorn. Hobocorn.
Narwhal.
He gives us a little bit of, oh, Canada, I hope I make you cry, because he is going to be fighting Tyson Kidd.
Right.
After the commercial, we see LaForce swear revenge on another conflict between Wales and France. Who knows?
That was the only part of the match that made sense. England and France back at it again. Okay. 100 Years' War. Let's see how long we can keep this rivalry going.
Make it historical?
Absolutely.
That would have been more interesting.
It would have made more sense. Anyway.
We've got Aiden English and Tyson Kidd. Beautiful song. That from English when he came out. I don't know what it reminded me of.
Should have been Sandman. Because
I'm
that's what it sounded like. Is that what... You really didn't get why we played that song in the intro until just this moment?
My brain is very gassy.
Oh boy,
My brain is very gassy.
You are late to this party. Mike, wow.
No, you said English, and I was like, what did he do? What did he say? Like, legitimately. It's just like, what's going on? The match, though. I broke him. I broke the hobo because I am broken.
Yeah, the match.
Are you here?
All right.
Are we here? Can we move on from
Hold
my...
it together. I've got it back.
Find that hard to believe. We got a long match after this to get through.
Right.
We get a arm drag to a monkey flip. Kid misses with the crossbody, and English just smacking him with elbows and a beautiful back suplex. Very high.
Yeah. Very tight. Seeing a lot of rope cutoffs tonight.
Yeah,
a lot
very
of rope
much so.
cutoffs, which I hear is thanks to Mr. Norman Smiley.
Oh yeah.
That's part of his tutelage. And I think it's great. It's great seeing different ways that the ropes can be used to another individual's advantage. It's always dirty. It's always dirty when you use the ropes like that. Without exception. Because when a man is in the ropes, that's it. You back off him.
Mm-hmm.
As a clean competitor, you know that's when you step away and wait for him to get ready and then come back to it. That's what you do in a wrestling match.
Mm-hmm.
But when you assault another man in the ropes, with the ropes, it's always dirty. Just always dirty. Even in the case of Tyson Kidd flying through into the ropes.
Yes.
It shows how smart English is to scout a maneuver from the very, very quick Tyson Kidd and to just snap him into the ropes like that.
Yes. English just kept cutting him off whenever he could, keep the pace to where he wanted it. Gets a wonderful rear headlock in it, but the Kid's reversal of a corner head scissors, the head scissors from the corner to the top turnbuckle was really cool.
That was really cool.
Yeah. And just kept kicking him, wailing on him, gave the fake out to him where English duck.
Oh, that's always great.
No. Pop. Very high, very pretty vertical suplex to Tyson Kidd, and Big Cass comes out just to keep the mind games going. Where we go, oh, maybe the curtain has yet to fall. Maybe
exactly.
Act two begins now.
Yep.
And he puts on his hat and scarf and is just tooling around like a
He's got his beret on. He's got
how
his
you
thing.
doing?
And he's like, hey, that's my stuff.
That's my hat. And he's like, you know what? You're right. Sorry. Dusts it off. Tosses
Flings
it right in.
into the ring. This was the most brilliant finish I've seen in a while because it went perfectly. He flings it into the ring. Aiden turns, watches the hat fly away into Tyson Kidd's finisher.
Right into that overcastle.
Right there, man.
And on the hat. The referee should have called it. That is a foreign object in the ring. And Tyson
He's got
Kidd
a loaded
used it.
hat. English brings a loaded hat to the ring.
Yeah, full of his intellect.
Oh, is that what that is?
Boom. Dropping some knowledge, recovering from my previous farting.
Yeah. That was a big one, though.
And Kidd gets the victory, and English is left in the ring very, very angry.
I think Tyson Kidd should have put the hat on. Instead, he smothered it into English's face.
That was random.
It just worked out too well.
Smell Big
What do you
Cass's
do?
head. Like what? Smell all the grease.
Smell your greasy head.
But it was great. Like the commentators didn't like. They were like, "Whoa, what's this?" And you're like, "Yeah, what's that?" Well, English was in the middle of a big move, and then you hear a bunch of people going soft and like, "Oh, who's here?
Yep.
Is it?" And then they did like a really weird close up. You never saw him actually come down. He was just there.
He was there. He appeared.
And in the shining light, Big Cass appeared.
He's a big ninja.
Dude,
Big ninja.
If that guy could creep up on you, you deserve to get beat up. Seriously, he's way too big. I am, and I don't know who is getting the. I really like the Neville and Big Cass feud.
English.
And sorry,
Big Cass.
I'm looking at my notes.
Wrong note. Yeah. English and Big Cass.
Neville is English. Anyway, the English and Big Cass feud, just because they both look like they're ready for the next step already.
And they really, you get that a lot from English, especially in this match. He took command. He looked like he was in control the entire time. He took his time. He felt things out. And he finally turned heel with the crowd. The crowd was not cheering him. It took him a long time to do it. And I think this feud with Cass excuse me, along with his overall technique in this match, made him the bad guy. Nobody wanted to cheer for him tonight because he was bad. He was just a bad dude.
Like there are the history of entertaining heels, like The Rock when he had all of his great promos as a heel, but people would still cheer for him. But I think Aiden can reach that it's soon enough. But he's got a great start just being the heel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with you. This is a good showing, a good start for him.
Cass is a heck of a face too.
Oh yeah,
Boy,
dude.
howdy.
Yeah, he's a taller Edge.
He really
essentially.
is, and in better shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope he's not as brittle.
No, very yeah.
Boy, howdy.
No, he could have a big career in front of him.
He really could.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see him on the main roster, or where he would fit in. Hopefully he would take Enzo with him.
Right. Where would he fit in, you think, Cass?
I think he would start strong as a mid-carder.
Yeah.
Eventually, he could be main event picture. I definitely think he could be.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of the guy that they look for, and if they keep his bit that he has right now in NXT with the soft thing, that could.
Oh, that's money.
Exactly.
Everybody loves that,
Exactly.
including people in the back.
Yeah, no. So
Even Triple H and Stephanie have been known to quote that from time to time.
which is a great thing to hear in your marriage, like soft. Anyway,
You're soft.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we went to bed.
Yeah, I didn't
Tonight's main
wanna-
event is Adrian Neville versus Corey Graves, which, I mean, 2 segments long, very, very strong showing by Graves.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
I was a bit confused. You know, looking back, initially I'm like, okay, this is a grudge match. But if you look at the larger picture, you're having a grudge match in the middle of a big feud.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've got the Bo Dallas feud set and ready, and all of a sudden you decide to pull the trigger on Neville and Graves in the middle of this.
They gave the ending away by promoting it that way and putting it in the middle of this program, I think.
Right. I mean, and what would have happened if Graves won?
He's
Would
the number
that
one
make
contender.
him right? So you couldn't obviously have him win,
Mm-hmm.
and I think if you I don't know, man, if you just didn't have this match, you have Neville beat Bo, you have an automatic number 1 contender
Mm-hmm.
for after Bo wins the title, and it's a hot feud with the title on the line.
They could be setting up for that with this match.
But the axe has been buried because Graves
this was the
lost.
match,
Graves
yeah.
lost, so there's no feud in that.
But Graves is the type to bring up the, like, old wounds, but he's one of the people who's not going to be in an independent sort of program who can be going after the belt. Like right now, the belt picture could be a bunch of different people. There's a lot of people that I think are ready for that promotion, that run, but they're in their own things, like Big Cass and Aiden English. Like either one of those could be in that position, but they're not. And right now, it seems like Adrian Neville and Bo are the only 2 people. Like nobody else is after the belt right now because they're pushing for the big title match, but there's nobody else that's like, it's going to be mine. Like nobody else is sort of pining for that. Then if you're not trying to be the best, then what are you here for? Sort of thing.
Right.
It's
I
a
mean,
very weird situation.
You end up having a lot of drama matches because there's only one belt. Mm-hmm. So you have a lot of friction-based matches and feuds that aren't associated with any sort of gold on the line.
Yeah.
Then in that case, should they introduce another belt?
I was actually thinking about that during this, and if they're going the network route, and depending on how that might change their shooting schedule, if like it seems like that it's going to be 2 hours for the special. If they if they keep it an hour, or like NXT could be their TV championship spot where they have a title where it's only defended on certain shows. So if you're if you're the TV champion, that could kind of be your gateway, and you make special appearances on Main Event or Superstars. That doesn't make you the best. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I'm talking out of my mouth, and I'm not supporting anything that's coming out of it. I don't think they need. I don't think they need it. It seems like they do, because there's a lot of just matches.
Right, there's a lot of people, and
Yeah, there's a lot of
not
people.
a lot to do.
Exactly. That's best way of putting
I mean,
it.
usually in those situations you would introduce a belt or something to actually fight over instead of just having people fight each other.
If there was an NXT Money in the Bank sort of thing,
yeah.
if there was something,
Some other gimmick.
which is why the LaForte thing for people fighting, like if he had any sort of credibility as a manager, people like fighting for him, like either way, there's a lot of talent like Corey Graves. Like he showed in this match that he deserves to be near the top at all times, if not the top. It was a lot of just keeping Neville on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, since we spoiled the ending and ended up talking about this, I don't know about you guys at home, but I certainly didn't see Graves winning this. There was no way he could win this, which is why we skipped right to the end.
Yeah.
So let's actually go into the match right now,
Yes.
like we're supposed to.
Yes.
Because it's our job.
Naturally.
Naturally.
A lot of, like you were talking about utilizing the ropes in a lot of ways, and Neville starts out with a headlock to Corey Graves running the ropes and a lot of dropping down, and
he makes the impossible look easy with that.
ridiculous.
Those handsprings.
Just a quick front salt looked like he just on his head.
Right,
Didn't
just
look like
hop, hop. That was it.
Switched to an arm drag. Graves escapes to the outside, baits Neville into coming back into the ring, starts kicking him down, starts going after his knee. Just a lot of striking. Graves just kept on him. Like there wasn't. He didn't have a lot of. He didn't have a lot of grappling. He just
Graves is a striker, and the one thing I've started to notice through watching Graves' work is he will strike pretty much with every strike available. Most guys are maybe a two striker, a front punch and a kick. He at least did a front punch, a back fist, chop. I think he threw an elbow,
forearm.
I think forearm, knee, boot. He did everything. This guy, he's a definite striker, almost an exclusive striker.
That definitely showed in this match. Graves goes to throw Neville out. He reverses with the backhand spring and then a back flip for flair. You gotta backflip for style.
Well, yeah, because Graves scouted him. He's like, no, I'm going to walk this way so he can't jump on me. And then finally he comes around the other side and perfect.
I wasn't even talking about that.
Oh,
no.
What were you talking about?
I was talking about, Graves went to throw him out of the ring by the head, and they were right next to the ropes. But Neville, quick handsprings, hits his feet on the top rope, and then back handsprings, and then back flips and gives an arm drag.
Right, right.
And then that's when Graves escaped and went around the ring because he almost got a diving crossbody, goes around the ring where Neville hits him with just a gainer.
So much.
No hands.
Diving. Just, I'm going to do a backflip. Run. Woo.
And it was so clean. He landed on his feet.
Oh, man.
I don't understand. As much as I don't like how much they call him the man that gravity forgot.
Because it's not catchy. It's not a catchy phrase, but there's no other way to describe it.
I think it is.
You think it is, really?
I think it's very catchy. I think it's catchy to the point probably where they've tricked me into thinking it's catchy because I've heard it so much. Like, they say it to make you remember it, and I do, but I also want them to stop. Like, it's
like the only thing they have to say about him. It's the only sort of catchphrase they've got.
The guy Newton didn't remember.
Something, or, I mean, you could call him an alien, too. Because, I mean, there are other planets much bigger than ours that have more gravity. So you could say, he's an alien that's traveled here, and now he just does crazy flips because, well, our Earth gravity just doesn't mean a whole lot to him.
Explains the years.
Absolutely.
That was bad.
I think he heard you say that, actually.
I hear a distant... and he's flipping his way across the country, and he's going to break through the ceiling. I apologize in advance.
Feet first, just boom, right there.
And just clock me in the top of an elbow. Let's see, where'd we go?
Like that. Oh, God, is it here? Is it here?
Back. Saving.
Don't panic. If we're quiet, I don't think
there's a kerfuffle in the booth.
Anyway. Is he in there? Is he in there with you? Go away. We're not here.
No one's in. Dave's not here.
Dave's not here, man. Dave's not here.
Graves, throughout the match, kept focusing on the knee, kept striking it, kept just tweaking it in the
Yeah.
grossest possible ways.
Just very. Neville is flexible in ways that he doesn't seem right for him to be flexible. And I think Tensei was
Grossly.
saying all of his CLs were getting a good stretch on this one. MCL, ACL, LCL, BLL. I don't know.
But that was where anytime Neville would start to get any sort of a headway back on Graves, it would be a chop block or any sort of thing to just keep him grounded. Neville was on the ground for most of the match, so it seems like gravity forgot about him.
And it seems with Graves, I've been watching their previous match, the match they had before Graves had to take some time off. It seems there's a psychology in this. Like, Graves always wants to try and beat Neville without going for the leg. And once he figures out that he can't beat him without going for the leg, he'll go for the leg. It's this like snap that happens in mid-match. You see Neville doing all of these flips and dives, and then after the last dive, he goes for that knee right away. Just right away. It's like, you can't play with a guy who does all that flips and jump and stuff without automatically going for the leg, because you can't beat him. You can't nail him down if you allow him to fly around like that. So you got to go for the knee. And it seems like that is how his mind works in these matches. And it's great to see that a match can have a story and a drive like that.
Very much so. It's probably also due to their history of working as a tag team.
True.
They know each other so
other.
well, and they could put on great matches, which is why I think after this one I see them. Why shouldn't? What they could have waited on this, and they could have really made something special out of it. But at the same time, where's Bo gonna go?
Bo's not going to go anywhere. I think
Exactly.
we could have waited. We could have had Graves in a few comeback matches and then have the live special. Neville gets the belt or doesn't get the belt, either way, and then we do Graves. That way one thing has ended and another thing starts. That way we don't have it in the middle, and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but it made me wonder, after not seeing Bo in too many big matches, like with the contract signing, how he just had that quick little squash and that didn't really mean anything, and he's had a lot of things. I mean, I guess that's sort of the nature of his character as a champion, where it doesn't seem like he deserves or has earned that belt.
Right.
But with this, it shows.
It makes Neville look like he's really hungry and he should have this belt, and it sort of builds up both the sympathy factor for him going in hurt, and also every time, every damn time.
Beautiful.
It also builds up his credentials as a guy who should be in this main event and should be the champion, as opposed to Bo Dallas.
Exactly. There's a beautiful spot where Graves set up Neville's leg on the ropes and jumped down, bashed on his knee, sets it back up again, and in midair, Neville grabs him and rolls him up. And that was so pretty.
Yeah, it was a schoolboy out of nowhere. I had to run it back because I blinked and missed it. I'm like, how did we get here?
Yeah, because the camera cut right as he grabbed him, so it was really weird and disorienting again. Great job in the booth. We love you, but
They're good. They're very good.
it was real pretty. But got up. Graves just kept him on the ground. A bunch of strikes, a bunch of holds. Gave him a leg DDT, which you don't see very often.
I love that leg DDT.
It's really cool, just because it snaps really
First time
good.
I ever saw it was Matt Stryker, and I just love it. It's so weird. It's just all that impact, and it jars the joint. It's a perfect move that the first time I ever saw was him doing it, and so yeah.
It fits in very well with Graves' offense
does.
in this match, and just in general.
And the way he
especially-
worked into it was very fluid. He went to a pin, kind of worked around real quick, grabbed it, and popped. It was very fluid. Graves is. I didn't know too much about Graves going into this match, and I took the time, paused the match, looked up Graves, and Graves has been doing this for about 15 years.
I didn't know that.
Right, and he's almost too pretty to be a natural wrestler, but yeah, he's been doing this stuff for 15 years. So he's really good.
Yeah,
and you can really start to see it if you begin to watch him.
and his offense is almost exclusively for his big finish for the Lucky 13.
Sort of, other than the strikes.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of this match, it just he made it. He wanted it to be so that he didn't. It almost seemed like he was attacking in a way where he didn't have to put it in, but if he did, it would be an immediate tap out.
I mean, you're right. His offense had basically two motivational factors. One was to hurt the knee to get the win. Two was basically just to punish. Everything else he did, other than work on that knee, was meant to punish. He gave him a huge gut buster. That was just to hurt him. All the other stuff, all the strikes and stuff, is just to hurt him. Everything on the leg is meant for the win.
Did a huge fireman's carry backbreaker, which was very impressive.
Yeah.
Just did not want to be anywhere near that.
It looks nasty when he does it, man. And there's a reason. This is a grudge match. It should be ugly.
And it was pretty ugly. He throws Neville outside and goes for a pile driver, which we know,
or a power bomb. But it was too slow to be a power bomb.
It looked really dramatic. It was a really dramatic setup.
We're going there.
You don't want me to do that. I'm going to do this. I don't care what any. I don't care what anybody. Just real quiet and mumbly, like a weird bad guy. But Neville comes back, starts striking at him. But he just can't get his footing. Gets a front drop kick off and gives a huge kick to the head. Essentially knocks Graves out.
That was a big kick. That looked like it kicked through his head. That was, wow.
What doesn't suit well for his concussion history.
Right, and they kept touting that this whole match was, you got to watch out for the concussion. Everything to the head. Oh, watch the concussion, you know. So it ended up working that kick leveled him. That was it, and then set up for the red arrow. Which,
he hobbled up there, and it almost made it look like he wasn't going to get it off because of the time he was taking. But at the same time, we were like, how can he not win this match?
Right.
How can he do the red arrow with his leg like that? But he did.
He managed to do it.
It was pretty.
Certainly managed to do it, and luckily the concussion kept Graves down for as long as it took Neville to get in position, which was longer than usual. Definitely longer than usual.
But Neville gets the 3 count.
Yep.
And we are like, cool, yay, celebration. And almost immediately we get the music of Bo Dallas. And it was great. There was a wonderful shot of Neville as you saw Graves just kind of roll out of the ring like, well, I'm done. But it would have been cool to see him get involved. But at the same time, it was, all right, this is done. Like, it was sort of the visual representation of, all right, this is done. Time for the title thing.
Right.
Like, storyline's over, and now we're moving on.
Although when Bo came out, this match, I'm thinking in my head, the only reason that this match could be taking place now is because Bo Dallas willed it. He talked to somebody in the back. I feel like Bo should have this sort of larger-than-life persona, that he is the guy who can go and just make matches. That's why he got the squash match at the signing, and now he's made this match where Graves is taking on Neville to soften Neville up so he can have an easier time during the title match, whenever that is. I think that's what they should be going for. It's the only way that this match makes any sense. That it's taking place now is because Bo Dallas willed it. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense.
I agree. Bo comes out, starts rolling up his sleeves, taking off his coat, taking off the belt, like he's about to put the boots to Mr. Adrian Neville.
A hurt man.
But almost like right as he gets to the ring, Triple H comes out. We hear the music of the game, and he comes out. And I agree, if he had some sort of authority, no pun intended, and H just came out and sort of gave him a pat on the back, and then that sort of indicates, oh well, maybe Bo is in with all of these.
Cahoots.
Go with all this. But H comes out. And I thought he said, to preserve the match, preserve the thing, it's going to be a big event. You guys can't touch each other. That's what I thought he was going to come out and say.
Yeah.
Especially given Neville's current condition. But H comes out and makes it exactly what I wanted. Makes the first ever NXT ladder match for the NXT title on the February 27th event.
How looking forward are you to this ladder match?
All of it.
Yeah. I think this is exactly what people want to see. It could not be any crazier an idea to have Neville in a ladder match. I think it's fantastic. I cannot wait to see this match.
And it was a wonderful end of the show. Like, for still looking forward to the live event, but it didn't make sense that Bo was coming out for a whooping, and all of a sudden, once the boss comes out, oh, I'm not going to beat him up anymore. It didn't seem like...
You don't want to beat him up in front of your boss,
like,
really?
No. Like, well, he said best for business, I probably shouldn't. But it was a really good setup, but there's still 2 shows left. So I just wonder what's going to happen with this program
in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that are starting to get a lot of stuff that's starting to get wrapped up when it should lead a little bit cleaner into the event. But I guess we're gonna have to find out.
Yeah, we'll have to see where it goes. Mm-hmm. Hey man, so yeah,
especially with these 2.
That was a good wrap up. Yeah. So yeah, who's your MVP for this show?
Graves, got to be Graves.
Really, Graves.
I really enjoyed watching him.
That was good.
Yeah,
I liked English for this. He changed gears. He ended up being real dark and creepy.
Yeah,
I like
nice.
dark and creepy.
I can tell.
All right, so I am the Hobo. I can be found at True Hobo on Twitter and Instagram while you're at it. And now you, sir, where can you be found?
You can find me at twitter.com/soapboxmark, and every Friday I help produce a show called Brew Tester where we pair video games and craft beers. It's a wonderful time. Follow me on Twitter and you'll get all of the information.
Seriously, folks, go watch that show.
I did an episode with Hobo.
I did a special episode. It was probably some of the most fun I've ever had in my life. Not a big video game player, but I am a big drinker, so it was very much fun. So yeah, until next week, folks, take care.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.